Hello, 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 everyone. Darling here with you. Today we're going to be going back to the basics, right? I'm going to be sharing with you a checklist to help simplify your marketing approach. I recently came across a great article last week written by Glen, CEO of Gentlemint, and I really just want to share that information with you and conceptualize that for you. Kind of bring it down and make things actionable, practical. And so in 20 minutes or less, I will be taking you back to the basics pretty much, sharing with you a checklist to help simplify your marketing approach. Now, here at Front Row, we understand that you don't all have the time in the world to dive as deep into the concepts and insights that would bring about success for your business or company. This is why we go through countless blogs, articles, and research papers to bring you key insights in today's marketing and branding industry. The goal is so you can get a feel for which strategies catch your eye and then look to implement, right? But as always, don't try to do everything. Pick one key concept to implement. And if you do, definitely let us know and reach out. We'd be happy to kind of share our thoughts as well and kind of get your perspective and see how things have been going. Now, if you want the full PDF, just send us a message and we'd be happy to send that your way. And remember, you can also view the full video on our Front Row Digital Marketing News page by visiting our website, along with other resources that will help your business and companies grow. But with that being said, let's get into it because it's really going to be value packed today, right? So here's pretty much a summary, right? Businesses can get better returns on their marketing efforts by honing in on what works and putting away what doesn't, right? Sometimes it's easier to take things away, make the process simpler than adding things, right? The more things you add, the more things you add. If you don't really have the fundamentals down, down the road, you're going to end up with disorganization. You're going to end up with not fulfilling your potential. You're not going to end up fulfilling the mission that you wanted because each lesser has to work in the best interest of the latter, right? And so what we're looking at here is sometimes it might just be better to take things away rather than adding on. And especially given our environment and the circumstances that has transpired over the last several months, um, you know, a lot of businesses and a lot of companies are in kind of a limbo stage. They're kind of in a dissonance stage. They're not really sure what to do. And so here's just a checklist to help you kickstart that and almost reboot your marketing, your branding, and your PR efforts, right? Now, the question is, do you think your marketing efforts have become stagnant? This is true for a lot of businesses, and you might find that simplifying your approach might yield some better results. Now, Glenn, as I said, the co-founder of Gentlemint, shares a checklist of his favorite methods of doing a reboot of sorts with your marketing team. And I love this article as well. I really loved it, so I really wanted to share this with you. Getting back to the basics can help you see a better ROI from your marketing efforts, right? So with that being said, let's kind of dive into it. Kind of starting with the first kind of point here on the checklist to help simplify your marketing approach, which would be establish which marketing channels are working and aren't working, right? There's a good chance that, as even a small, medium sized, or large company, you've got a solid marketing channel already working for you, right? Um, but it doesn't hurt to check your analytics and really dig into what's working. I mean, either way, you'll have to check your analytics, and you might have to pull data from certain different sources, and really just compare them and outweigh and see which one really is working the best and double down on it, right? Because, like I said, sometimes it's easier to simplify the process, get back to fundamentals, and then move on from there. You can kind of take an objective look at what's not working and try not to base it off of subjective factors like a channel's potential or how the channel makes your company look, right? So if your company's on LinkedIn, but you're not B2B, that's not really going to be your niche right there as far as the platform. But essentially, just you want to take an objective look, and you would go about doing that through data, right? Data would give you that information to make um, those scientific strategies, those scientific decisions, right, that would actually objectively benefit your company or your business. So you're not really looking at, okay, I like Instagram and I like Facebook and everyone's on Instagram and everyone's on Facebook. Let's go on that, right? Our company needs that. No, look at your pull the data from your several sources or from your several platforms, and analyze that. What do you really have to work with? What engagement are you getting? What metrics are you tracking? What's happening with these platforms that you're on, or whatever channel you're using, right? So just keep that in mind, right? The data is going to help you make informed guesses as to, you know informed decisions as to which platform is really working for you. Now, you want to try identifying 5 things that your marketing team could do every day that would have a big impact on your marketing in 3 months. Um, and I really like this idea. It's not just, subjective in effect. It's not subjective in the sense that, um, you know, you can do something every day, and if you're doing something that's pretty good, of course, if you're doing something that impacts your bottom line, yes, you're going to get results, but literally it's doing the little things that actually matter. It's consistency. It's getting that mindset. It's getting you to be able to be consistent about your efforts, right? Not just branding, not just marketing, not just PR, not just sales, not just customer service, not just services, whatever it might be, right? It's the little things that actually matter. And you would be surprised in 3 months what could happen from that. Um, Something that we're doing here at Front Row is our email campaigns, right? That's something that we've really honed in on. Email still works for us, and so we're still on that channel. So with that being said, once you have an objective list of your marketing efforts and what's working and what isn't, you can then move on to the next step, right? So now going to the second tip for kind of, to help you simplify your marketing approach, you want to master one platform at a time. Um, Once you start getting into all the platforms, it becomes a vanity game, and your social platforms could take the quality, unless you have, a full team working on that full time, your quality will take a dip in all these different channels that you're trying to get on. And so there's pressure to maintain every possible marketing channel. You know, the problem with this is that your marketing can suffer a little on every platform, and Glenn says it perfectly as well. Now, oftentimes companies struggle from trying to do too much. It becomes a vanity game, right? My competitor is over here, so I should be over here. Well, the question you should be asking yourself is, what works for me? What works given my mission, my legacy, and what platforms are adjacent to that? What platforms can help be a catalyst to that? What platforms can help be that median that I can get my message across effectively, right, to the right audience? Now, instead of trying to spray and pray, you want to consider taking the channels that are already working for your business and improving upon them. Now, you really want to dig into squeezing the most out of the channels that are already working. It kind of goes back to the first point. You currently have channels that are working for you right now, right? Master that platform, master that channel, and that is going to give you that fundamental to where you can then go on to other platforms, right? You can pause the channels that aren't working, or even just quit them if they never really worked. Specifically for Front Row, given this certain industry that we're in, we're not really on Instagram, we're not really on Twitter, but there are certain platforms and channels that work for us. Specifically for us, like I said, the email channel works really great for us. LinkedIn works really great for us, and Facebook works great for us. And so that's just kind of from our perspective. That's kind of through our analysis, that's what we came down to. And so taking your already solid platforms to the next level can help you improve the other platforms that haven't been performing as well. A high tide raises all ships, after all, right? And what this means is that once you focus and you hone in and you start, trying to improve this one channel that's working for you, you're going to be able to consistently provide quality results. You're going to master that platform. Now you can branch out, right? Now you can use whatever knowledge that you've gotten there, whatever strategies, whatever effectiveness that you've been able to attain in that platform, and you'll be able to then use this on other platforms, right? Not verbatim, word for word, or not. You're not copying and pasting the strategy because each platform is different. But by mastering what one platform, you'll be able to raise your other platforms as well. Now, the third tip to simplifying your marketing approach would be to start focusing on the daily, mundane things that move the needle. Now, this is my favorite one, and this would be, the ones that from the small companies to the biggest companies, they shy away from, right? Now, many teams, marketing or otherwise, become enticed by the big flashy promotion. Viral content, for example, could be a massive boon for your business, right? That's pretty much what, social media in a way it's set up so it's ephemeral, right? It's here today, it's gone tomorrow. Viral content, it's really more the place for social media. You kind of see how the excuse me, you see how each platform, no matter what social media platform it is, it's set up in a way where, it's enticing and it's meant for you to consume content. So viral content would be the priority for these platforms. Viral content would be the most engaging. I guess that's why it's viral. But here's the thing. Viral content by nature is hard to predict and even harder to obtain, right? Like I said, social media is quite ephemeral, right? Lots of factors, including luck, go into successful viral content. You don't just want to be, searching for viral content. You don't want to be fishing for it. Success is defined as the little things that you do every day over time. Now, try identifying 5 things that your marketing team could do every day that would have a big impact on your marketing in 3 months. You might pick up things like, writing 500 words for the company blog or improving your existing content to boost your SEO. Or maybe you're going to be, focusing on one channel. Or let's say you're going to start creating more content for the channels that you're working on. But you will pick what makes the most sense for your business and company, given your legacy and mission. Do these 5 things every day and keep a log of them, right? You may be surprised by the results. Now, here at Front Row, we generally just use an Excel spreadsheet to keep tracks of our certain outreach methods. But, you know, pick what makes the most sense for you, right? And after that, really just hone in on it and be consistent. It's the little things that matter, right? It's not about potential. It's not about viral content or viral marketing strategies, right? You want to do the little things brick by brick. You want to build that mansion. And with that being said, let's kind of move on to the fourth one to kind of help you simplify your marketing approach. You want to reduce extra marketing tools and systems. Like I said, sometimes removing extra processes and procedures just helps. It really just helps. It's that simple, right? It's kind of a catch-22. You're removing extra processes to make your processes optimal. That's the whole idea there. Tools and even people from the marketing workflow can help simplify and speed up marketing efforts, branding, PR, etc. Now, this can be as simple as creating graphics yourself with services like Canva or Stencil instead of using a designer, right? So you don't need to, even work with a contractor for your graphics or whatnot, right? With a simple, fundamental knowledge of Canva, you can do amazing things, and Stencil as well. These are great resources right here. Now you might go as far as to removing the need for extensive approvals or revisions from other stakeholders in attempts to move faster. Now, for bigger companies, this would be more constructive advice. If you're smaller to medium-sized companies, you might not have stakeholders, or you might not have a lot of checkpoints that your decisions have to go through. Now, with that in mind, you still want to take the same approach to slimming down your workflow. What things are necessities and what things are not? Taking an objective look at all the processes that go into your marketing should hopefully shed some light on the removable workflows and moving parts in your company. Now, here again, you want to look at it objectively, right? It's not I don't want to do this, and this is too hard. This takes the longest time, so we're not going to do this process, right? Creating the ad copy takes too long, so we're just going to wing it every time we do it. No, that's not what this means. It means that you want to really look at your workflow and you want to slim it down to where you only have the necessities. What is the most important thing that will move the needle to the next part? What is the most important thing that will get from point A to point B to point B to point C, right? So that's really what you're looking at there. Now, going on to the fifth tip to simplify your marketing approach, you want to make a seasonal marketing calendar. Now, many companies center their promotions seasonally. Their Father Day of sales, Labor Day sales, holiday sales as well. There's no shortage of seasonal marketing opportunities. There's a socks holiday sales. You can find enough holidays to kind of cater your company approach around. Now, if you can create content that aligns with these seasonal opportunities, you could potentially capitalize on search and social traffic during the parts of the year and hopefully every year after. Now, this is to say that you're not just, creating one blog and saying, okay, I'm done. This is the content I'm creating for the holiday. It's an alignment and that's it. No, just like before, consistency with your content, quality with your content. Of course, it should be in alignment with the holidays, but this will potentially increase your search results and your social traffic, given that you're taking the due deliberation and the steps, right? So you want to plan this ahead. This shouldn't be something that you just wing. Just like we kind of have a philosophy here at Front Row, winging it is for dummies, right? And we're no dummies over here. And so what we do is, before any action or any planning, right? We sit down, we kind of have a meeting and we schedule it out a couple months in advance. Says, okay, if we're going to do the strategy, we're going to start implementing it a month from now, 2 months from now. What data can we work with right now that shows us that this is the right way to move, this is the right strategy, and this is the right approach? And then we deliberate some more, and in that meantime we're creating content, we're creating whether it's copy or whether it's emails or whatnot. But seasonal marketing takes the guesswork out of drumming up ideas for your content. Now, this will be very great for companies and local businesses that aren't really on the creative side and can't really express themselves at will and kind of need that extra help and that extra addition to kind of help them. And if you're a company or business that is great at creating content, the holidays will also be a catalyst to help you increase your search and social traffic, because this is something that you can capitalize on. And it's something that would be enjoyable for your audience as well, given that your mission and your legacy is in alignment with that holiday as well. Now, you already know the theme. You just need to fill in the blanks for the content. You can use tools like BuzzSumo or EpicBee to find examples of content that has worked in past for seasonal promotions. You can also use SEMrush for competitor research and kind of see what content they're looking at. It's a little secret. Kind of spy on your competitors, see what they're up to, see how the holiday, see their holiday approach strategies. If it's effective and if you possibly foresee an ROI. Well, dig deeper into that because there might be something there. Okay, moving on to the sixth tip to kind of help you simplify your marketing approach. You want to focus on platforms that give you the most control. Now, all social medias, aren't created the same, right? Our social, like the question kind of goes, right? Our social platform algorithm changes hiding your content? Well, of course, right? We all know by now, it's no secret that as a business page, your reach is, within 1 to 10% at most to certain platforms. And, that's kind of what you're working with there, right? Our search engines ranking your pages lower and lower. Well, while there might be things you can do to improve these factors, you're forever at the mercy of the external platform because, you're on there. Right. So they can't change the rules for you because more and more people are coming in and more businesses are flooding the market. More and more people are coming in. And so what you're now looking at is, what you want to do is you want to focus on the marketing channels that you can directly influence, right? Like I said, not all social media channels will give you the same kind of control and authority equally. So do take that into account. Now, email, for example, is a channel that your business has much more control over, right? And email campaigns effectiveness has more to do with things under your control, you know, like your copy, the actual your call to action, the way it's designed, the way it looks, um, your actual prospecting list, your email list, your targeting list, if you will, you know, and just kind of the appeal of your message. And so these are things that are well within your control. There's less distractions going on with emails. Um, you know, as far as social media platforms, it's like a jungle zoo. There's the content's here today, it's here tomorrow. You know, everyone's searching for attention. It's everything's ephemeral. You know, and so what you want to do is you want to get those channels that give you some control, more control, more control than not, right? So that would be a strategy that would, you know, if you're not currently utilizing, will be a boost, and a catalyst to kind of just improving your marketing approach and simplifying it as well. Now, like I said, you want to focus on platforms that give you the most control, but you also want to realize that, hey, at the end of the day, these platforms are suitable for my business, my company, and what we do, right? So just keep that in mind. But as far as email goes, that's pretty much fair game for any company, or any business, you know, no matter what you're selling or your service or what you're providing. An email campaign can still prove effective. Now, the seventh tip would be to focus on consistency, not potential, right? Everyone has potential, but not everyone is consistent. Like I said, success is the little things that add up to the big things, right? It's doing those little things. Consistency. It's easy to get into the keeping up with the Jones trap when it comes to marketing, right? It's a vanity game. Once you start losing your fundamentals, it becomes a vanity game, because now, you know, you're swaying with every tide and you don't know which way to go, and you're chasing after the most appealing strategy, the most trending approach, you know, the cheat codes. You know, I could go on and on, but brands do this all the time, right? A burger chain will run a promotion that becomes viral on Twitter, and then a competing chain will follow suit on their own with a less successful attempt, right? You can never escape competition, you know, to through copying and through just flat out, you know, plagiarizing. Um, you know, of course, some might also consider it flattery, right? But flattery is a form of a compliment, but that may only help your competitors in the long run, right? So you escape competition through authenticity. And this was a statement that I really loved, by Naval Ravikant, AngelList investor. Now, while there might be a lot of potential in viral content, consistent improvement over time may yield better results in the long run. I will add on to say it will yield better results in the long run, right? The reason why companies chase viral promotion is because consistency is hard. Doing the little things is hard, right? It's not about doing the big things, right? Because everyone's trying to do the big things, but who's really doing the small things? What businesses and companies are really sitting down and saying, hey, let's look at the data. Let's kind of process this. Let's get information. Okay, what's the next step, right? What can we deduce from this? What's the next step after that? Okay, given what we can, you know, it's those little things. And then actually before, you know, doing all that before even getting into action. But now when you get into action, it's okay. We have a schedule, consistency, of course. Now, this is the hard thing. This is really the hard thing. And once you really grasp that, you'll understand that potential is really just perishable. It's not really something that you really should stick on, because potential is almost like inspiration. You know, if not utilized correctly, if the right approach isn't taken, and if that potential can't be brought out, if that inspiration can't be brought out, it's perishable. It means nothing. And so consistency will only help with your potential, will only help with your inspiration. And so, as Glenn states, he's found that through experience, that when you're doing the hard things other companies don't want to do, you're on the right track. And that's what I would say as well. Now, the eighth tip to simplifying your marketing approach would be to put an emphasis on being genuine. Like I said, you want to escape competition through authenticity, right? This is Glenn's favorite marketing tactic, and it's worked every time he used it. But do bear in mind that this tactic it cannot scale, but for a good reason. You don't want this strategy to scale because this is a highly hyper targeted personalization strategy, if you will, right? When you send a handwritten email or a note to someone, it stands out. When you have an actual conversation with someone, they'll remember you. Now, when you can genuinely help someone, they'll usually tell others about it. Right? We've all experienced this. This is something we can all conceptualize because we've all had this experience, right? You know, each one of us, we're getting, we're getting blasted with emails, right? Whether it's from services or whether it's from, companies or whatnot. But what you really want to look at here is that I say is that personalization is great because it's not only great, but it's effective because you're making the person, whichever person that is, you're making them feel like an actual individual, not a number, not another just lead on the prospecting list, but you're making them feel as if their time, their goals, their mission is just as important as yours. So Glenn says, because the current marketing trend for getting mentions or links is to send mass emails to anyone with an email address, um, and it's kind of along the same concepts of, you know, marketing is a numbers game. Of course, it's a numbers game, but personalization is not a numbers game, right? So there are certain concepts that you can apply in certain fields and in certain environments that would not be applicable to other environments. This is building that judgment, right? This is being able to kind of look at the environment, look at the situation, and from there, bring about a procedure or operations that are in alignment with that environment, right? This is based on your judgment. This isn't clear cut, right? Sometimes you might want to take the personalization approach. Sometimes you might want to take the approach that can scale. So really building that judgment, you know, is going to help you immensely, being able to decipher which ones is which, right? Marketing is a numbers game, but yet personalization, nothing beats personalization. So what do you really do, right? So build that judgment through experience. That's pretty much the only way. And so Glenn receives, as he said, hundreds of automated requests over the course of a month from businesses wanting him to write about their product. And guess how many of these products he's written about? None, right? Zero. Yet, Glenn's gone out of his way to write about products and services from people who he cares about and who have sent him genuine requests. Nothing beats personalization, we said, but also, take into account your environment, your situation, and your scenario. Now, you want to take the time to identify a handful of people who you can send a genuine, heartfelt email or message to, and you want to make a personal message, and kind of about them and send it. Now, how can you help them? Well, how have they inspired you? Do anything Now, yes, you want to do anything but pitch your product or service, right? Because that really has nothing to do with personalization. If you send a well crafted personal message, you may have a better chance of them responding positively to you. Now, this method doesn't scale, not really, and that's the whole point. Being genuine can't scale. This is how the message receiver knows that you put in the time and effort to get their attention. Now mess we're really looking at here. Over at Front Row, we're doing something pretty interesting. We've been on track. We're kind of creating a little system called the pseudo personalization approach, right? Because here's the thing, marketing is a numbers game, sales is a numbers game, but also nothing beats personalization. And so, how do you balance those two? We have something in the works right now. We're really, you know, I feel the progress that the team has done and what we've been able to come about is really going to be helpful, for us starting out. But if it proves helpful, and if we get the data that hey, this is actually working, of course, we'll definitely go ahead and share that. But it's kind of finding that balance between marketing, getting that scalability, but yet still getting that personalization. Now, that is the gold mine right there. But nevertheless, do realize when is the time to take certain actions and apply certain concepts. Um, Judgment here will be key. And so, with that being said, right, 8 tips, very impactful tips for you. Just briefly going back over them. Now, you want to put an emphasis on being genuine. You want to focus on consistency, not potential. It's the little things that matter, right? Focus on platforms that give you the most controls. All platforms, all social media platforms are social media platforms. All channels are equal. But as George Orwell said, some platforms are more equal than others, right? Make a seasonal marketing calendar. This will help you. You can capitalize on, holidays. You can capitalize on potentially increasing your search and social traffic if you're not currently already doing that. And you want to reduce extra marketing tools and systems, kind of a catch-22, because the whole concept here is removing is better. Removing will give you more. Now you know, that's the whole concept there. Now, the third one, start focusing on the daily mundane things that move the needle, the little things that really matter, right? Viral is overrated, right? It's ephemeral. It's here today, it's gone tomorrow. If you're building a legacy, if you're building a company legacy, and you're trying to establish your mission, you want to be here for the long run, right? So don't focus on what's here today and gone tomorrow, but really just try to identify what can you do, what are the things that you can do consistently, and you'll be surprised the results you get out of that. You want to master one platform at a time. Really, that's pretty much just self-explanatory there. You're doing yourself a service by doing that, and you want to establish marketing channels that are and aren't working. So that kind of gets into the whole analyzing, your various touch points with your public and seeing what's working and what's not. As always, a range of new considerations and tools, some of which will have significant impacts for many businesses. It's worth keeping up with the latest trends. Hopefully, this will serve as a reminder or prompt to get you thinking on how you can use these new functions. And thank you for your time. And be sure to check out our website at frontrow-digital.com for more valuable resources and tools to help you scale while furthering your unique company identity. We not only have the Front Row Digital News as well, but we also have a free SEO tools for any businesses with websites that would like a SEO audit and would like to understand the technical know-how of how to improve their website and how to really improve their search results, traffic, conversions, and whatnot. Now, weekly digital marketing insights and social media key trends to keep you up to date and ahead of your competitors, right? And with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Now, don't try to do everything, just try to implement one concept. And if this was helpful to you, definitely reach out and we'd be glad to hear from you. With that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye bye.